All right, it is a massive Thursday night of European football. We've got Europa League, we've got Conference League, and we are going to break down all the key predictions for tonight, October 2nd. Let's not waste any time. Let's just get straight into it.
So, who's going to dominate Europe tonight? Who's going to rise to the occasion? And who is going to crumble under the pressure? We're going to get into the key matchups, the players to watch, and all the drama that's about to unfold. Let's do this. Okay, first up, let's talk about the home fortresses. You know how it is in Europe, right? That home advantage can be absolutely massive. The crowd gets going, it can intimidate any team. And tonight, there are a few teams that are expected to turn their home grounds into an absolute cauldron and just lock down the win.
So what's the common thread here? What do all these home favorites have in common? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. They are all absolutely flying high, sitting right at the top of their domestic leagues. And you better believe they're looking to bring that same winning energy to Europe tonight.
I mean, look at this list. We're talking Fenerbahce in Turkey, Zrinjski Mostar over in Bosnia, and Noah from Armenia. Every single one of them is sitting in first place back home, and the expectation, well, it's that they're just going to roll that dominant form right into these European games.
And believe me, the home field party does not stop there. You've got Roma, with Breidablik just on fire right now. They're expected to take care of business against Lille. Then there's Panathinaikos. Yeah, they're missing a few players, but they should have more than enough in the tank to get past go-ahead Eagles. And here's one to watch. Omonia Nicosia from Cyprus are actually tipped to pull off a bit of a shocker and stun the German side Mainz, 3-1.
Okay, now this is a fascinating one. A matchup that, on paper, just doesn't quite add up. You look at Malmo, right? They're sitting pretty at the top of their league. You'd think they'd be a lock against a Plzen side that's way down in 7th, but a pretty devastating injury crisis has completely flipped this game on its head.
I mean, just take a look at this list. This is brutal. And look, these aren't just bench warmers. We're talking about the absolute heart and soul of the Malmo team, from their starting keeper all the way to their strikers. A cruciate ligament tear, a leg fracture. I mean, when you're missing this many key players, it's really no surprise that Plzen are suddenly the favorites to snatch a win here.
All right, let's flip the script. It is notoriously difficult to win on the road in Europe, but some teams are just built different. So now we're going to look at the clubs that are predicted to go into a hostile environment, silence that home crowd, and walk away with a massive victory.
And when you look at who's expected to win on the road tonight, one league really stands out from the pack, the German Bundesliga. You've got two teams, Freiburg and Stuttgart, both expected to get the job done on their travels, alongside one very strong contender from Spain's La Liga.
So let's break it down. Freiburg, they're back to beat Bologna 2-1, and you've got to keep an eye on their striker Grigoric, who's in great form. Then you have Real Betis traveling to Bulgaria. With the creative genius of Isco back in the mix, they're also predicted to win 2-1. And that second Bundesliga team, Stuttgart. They're tipped for a really tight 1-0 win over Basle, with their in-form forward Undorf leading the charge.
And now, let's get to the nail-biters. You know the ones I'm talking about. The games where the margins are just razor-thin, where one moment of magic or one little mistake could be the difference. In these matchups, a draw feels almost written in the stars.
I mean, just look at Celtic versus Braga, a perfect example. You've got the Scottish champions taking on a Portuguese powerhouse. Both teams are absolutely on fire in their domestic leagues, just racking up points. But both sides are dealing with some key injuries, and that could really level the playing field. This one has all the makings of a super tense tactical battle.
And get this, here's a really interesting little tidbit for you. Even though they're totally different matchups, all three games we're about to talk about are predicted to end with the exact same scoreline, a tense 1-1 draw. It just goes to show you, when these teams meet, there is almost nothing to separate them.
The other two predicted draws, yep, you guessed it, they follow that same 1-1 script. SK Brann versus FC Utrecht, that's just a classic mid-table European fight where, neither side is going to give an inch. And then, in a result that might raise a few eyebrows, the Romanian leaders, Steaua Bucharest, are actually predicted to be held to a draw at home by a really tough young boys side from Switzerland.
Okay, wow, we've covered a whole lot of ground. So as we head towards the final whistle here, let's boil it all down. What are the key things you need to be watching for across Europe tonight?
So what's the big story tonight? It is all about home advantage. Just look at this breakdown. A massive 9 out of the 15 matches we've looked at are predicted to end in a home win. So yeah, you can expect to see a lot of roaring home crowds tonight.
So, to wrap it all up, what are the big takeaways? What should you be watching for?
Definitely keep an eye on those dominant league leaders, Fenerbahce and Zrinjski. They're expected to just cruise. Watch and see if the German teams can prove their strength on the road. And of course, the big question, can Malmo possibly overcome that brutal injury crisis? It's going to be a night of drama for sure, and hopefully a whole lot of goals.
So there you have it. The stage is officially set for an absolutely thrilling night of European football. But listen, we all know how this works. Anything can happen in football. Which prediction is going to be spot on, and which one is going to be the huge upset of the night? Well, there's only one way to find out. Enjoy the games.